February 1957, Philadelphia. A bitter winter chill hangs heavy over the city as the afternoon fades into twilight. In a secluded, overgrown lot near Susquehanna Road, an ordinary cardboard box sits among the weeds. To the untrained eye, it's just another piece of trash discarded on the wayside. But inside lies a tragic mystery that will haunt America for decades. A young boy, no older than 6, is found naked, malnourished, and brutally beaten. His frail body is meticulously wrapped in a simple flannel blanket, as if his killer wanted to preserve some semblance of dignity after committing such a heinous act. Who is this boy? Why has no one come forward to claim him? And what dark secrets does his short, tragic life hold? Over 6 decades later, these questions remain unanswered, despite modern breakthroughs in DNA technology and tireless efforts by investigators. The Boy in the Box has become one of America's most haunting cold cases, a heartbreaking story of a nameless child whose voice was silenced, but whose legacy endures. On February 25, 1957, a college student wandering through the Fox Chase neighborhood stumbled upon what appeared to be an abandoned box. At first glance, it was nothing out of the ordinary. But curiosity led him to peer inside, revealing a chilling sight: the small, lifeless body of a boy, pale and bruised, lying in the fetal position. His hair had been freshly cut, and his fingernails were clean, yet his body bore the unmistakable signs of prolonged abuse. The cardboard box, originally used to package a bassinet sold by J.C. Penney, seemed deliberately chosen. Inside, the boy's body was wrapped in a flannel blanket, indicating care even in death. The student reported the discovery to the police, and soon the crime scene became a focal point for investigators. The location itself offered little evidence. No footprints, no witnesses, no immediate leads. The box had been discarded in an area frequently visited by hunters, meaning it could have been placed there days or even weeks earlier. Detectives worked tirelessly to identify the boy, but his face was unfamiliar, and no missing persons report matched his description. The boy's body was taken to the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's office, where an autopsy revealed disturbing details. The child was severely malnourished, weighing only 30 pounds, and his body bore signs of repeated physical abuse. Older scars indicated he had suffered for a long time before his death. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma to the head. One unsettling detail was the boy's freshly cut hair. Clumps of it still clung to his neck and shoulders, as though the haircut had been hastily performed post-mortem. The autopsy also revealed the presence of several bruises and evidence of medical procedures, including scars consistent with a surgical intervention. Detectives initially hoped these unique details would help identify the boy. Flyers were distributed across Philadelphia, featuring a sketch of his face alongside the haunting label, "America's Unknown Child." Despite their efforts, the boy's identity remained elusive. The discovery of the Boy in the Box sent shockwaves through Philadelphia, capturing the attention of the nation. Newspapers ran front-page stories, and radio stations pleaded for anyone with information to come forward. The boy's hauntingly innocent face, depicted in sketches and reconstructions, became a tragic symbol of the city's loss. Tips poured in, but many were vague or unverifiable. Witnesses claimed to have seen a strange car parked near the lot, while others spoke of hearing cries in the night. Investigators followed every lead, but each avenue seemed to end in frustration. Despite the lack of progress, the public's fascination with the case only grew. The mystery of the boy's identity and the circumstances surrounding his death captured the imagination of amateur sleuths and professional detectives alike. The story became a grim urban legend, whispered about in hushed tones. With new evidence pointing toward potential relatives, theories about the boy's life and death began to evolve. Some investigators speculated that the boy might have been born out of wedlock and hidden from the world due to societal stigma. Others posited that he had been given to a relative who could not care for him, leading to neglect and abuse. One particularly disturbing theory suggested that the boy had been kept in isolation for much of his short life. Scars on his body, along with his malnourished state, hinted at prolonged suffering. Could he have been the victim of someone close to him? The idea was as horrifying as it was plausible. As investigators pursued these theories, they remained mindful of the passage of time. Many of the individuals who might have known the boy or been involved in his case were likely deceased, taking crucial secrets to their graves. However, the few living relatives identified through genealogy provided a faint but vital hope. Each new theory brought with it a wave of media coverage and public speculation. Forums buzzed with discussions about the boy's possible origins, and online sleuths pored over old records in an effort to fill in the blanks. The collective determination to solve the case became a testament to the boy's enduring impact on the public conscience. For years, the case languished in obscurity, overshadowed by other crimes and shifting societal priorities. However, advances in forensic science breathed new life into the investigation. In the 2000s, investigators exhumed the boy's remains to extract DNA. With cutting-edge techniques, they hoped to finally give him a name and trace his origins. The forensic team worked tirelessly, analyzing minute strands of DNA with precision. They discovered that the boy's genetic markers pointed to European ancestry, narrowing the search field. Additionally, advancements in genealogical databases provided a glimmer of hope. By connecting the DNA to potential relatives, investigators felt closer than ever to solving the mystery. Despite these advancements, challenges persisted. The family connections revealed through genealogy were distant and convoluted, leading to painstaking research to identify closer matches. Nonetheless, the breakthrough sparked renewed interest in the case, with amateur genealogists and true crime enthusiasts joining forces to uncover the truth. The renewed focus on the boy in the box case captured the attention of modern media. Documentaries, podcasts, and online forums brought the tragic story to a new generation, reigniting public interest. Social media became a powerful tool, allowing users to share theories, documents, and updates about the case with unprecedented speed. One viral campaign, under the hashtag #UnknownChild, led to a surge of tips submitted to law enforcement. Amateur sleuths shared theories on platforms like Reddit, piecing together clues from archived police files and historical records. While some information proved useful, the influx of armchair detectives also presented challenges for investigators, as separating credible leads from noise became increasingly difficult. The media's role was both a blessing and a curse. While it kept the boy's story alive, it also invited sensationalism, with some outlets exploiting the case for views. Despite this, the widespread attention brought newfound hope that someone, somewhere, held the missing piece of the puzzle. As the genealogical investigation deepened, the boy's DNA results revealed distant familial connections, providing tantalizing but incomplete clues. Researchers worked tirelessly to narrow down the potential family tree. They scoured records of marriages, births, and deaths, connecting dots across generations. Each match brought them closer to identifying the boy and possibly the people responsible for his tragic fate. One breakthrough came when investigators identified a third cousin through a public genealogy database. This relative, though unaware of the boy's identity, provided crucial insights into their shared family history. Through careful triangulation, detectives built a web of connections, zeroing in on a small group of families that might hold the key to the boy's name. Yet the path was fraught with obstacles. Families often harbored secrets, and not everyone was willing to cooperate with the investigation. The emotional weight of this process was immense. Forensic genealogists, many of whom were volunteers, felt a deep sense of responsibility to uncover the truth. They described moments of hope and heartbreak as leads either blossomed into potential breakthroughs or crumbled under the weight of conflicting evidence. For them, the boy wasn't just a case, he was a symbol of justice, long overdue. With no identification and no direct leads, the investigation into the boy's tragic death took a darker turn. Detectives and amateur sleuths began theorizing about the circumstances that led to his demise. Some speculated that he might have been the victim of an unlicensed orphanage or foster home where neglect and abuse were rampant. Others suggested he was an illegitimate child whose parents, fearing shame or scandal, had resorted to horrific measures to conceal his existence. One theory gained particular traction. The boy was a victim of human trafficking. In a time when such crimes were rarely discussed, the idea that he might have been sold, abused, and discarded chills through the community. Investigators also explored the possibility of a connection to medical experiments, as scars on the boy's body hinted at prior surgical procedures. While these theories gripped the public's imagination, none provided the answers the police so desperately sought. Theories circulated in newspapers, furling widespread speculation, but also creating challenges for law enforcement. Tips flooded in, but many were influenced by sensationalized media coverage rather than facts. Investigators found themselves chasing shadows, their frustration mounting as the case grew colder by the day. In late 2022, decades after the boy's discovery, a monumental breakthrough finally gave investigators a name: Joseph Augustus Zarelli. Through painstaking genealogical work, detectives identified his biological parents and traced his roots to a Philadelphia family. The announcement was met with a mix of relief and sorrow. While Joseph's name was finally restored, the circumstances surrounding his death remained shrouded in mystery. The revelation raised as many questions as it answered. Why had Joseph been abandoned? Why did no one report him missing? Investigators learned that his biological parents were deceased, and surviving family members offered limited insight. The boy's tragic story appeared to be entangled in a web of secrecy, pain, and perhaps shame. For many, the discovery of Joseph's name was a bittersweet victory. It marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. The focus shifted to uncovering the identities of those responsible for his death and seeking justice for a child who had suffered so much. Despite the unanswered questions, Joseph's story served as a powerful reminder of the resilience and persistence of those who fought for decades to give him a voice. The story of the boy in the box is no longer just a tale of tragedy. It is a testament to the power of perseverance, technology, and human compassion. Joseph Augustus Zarelli's case inspired countless individuals, from seasoned detectives to amateur sleuths, to dedicate their time and energy to uncovering the truth. His name, once lost to history, is now etched into the annals of justice. The impact of the case extends beyond Joseph himself. Advances in forensic science and genealogy have transformed the way cold cases are approached, offering hope to countless other unidentified victims and their families. Joseph's story has become a symbol of the importance of never giving up, no matter how insurmountable the odds may seem. As the investigation into Joseph's death continues, his story remains a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring need for justice. His case has touched the hearts of millions, uniting people across generations in their quest for answers. The boy who was once forgotten has become unforgettable, his legacy a beacon of hope for the future of cold case investigation.